Kamen Rider here. This is going to be my review for Kamen Rider Gavv Episode 44. This is going to be a pretty short review, to be honest with you, because this was a very strange episode. It was like part clip show, part lead into the movie. You start with the device of the character from the first episode, the kid character that helped Gavv out at the beginning, and we catch up with him. And that was kind of nice, and I kind of wish that was just a full-fledged episode. I think you could do a full kind of character episode on Gavv and the kid, and it would feel at home in this final arc, kind of circling back to the beginning. And it did feel like that, but I was disappointed when it just turned out as a way to facilitate a clip show. Like, you did have several different ways. Like, you had him explaining kind of some of the powers and all that stuff to the kid, and then you have this new recruit, Granite, watching, like, a video tutorial on the history of, like, the hunters and the company. It's actually a very thorough clip show. There's, like, 2 or 3 different devices that explain, like, almost every single facet of the show, from power-ups to riders to villains to mythology. So if you're, like, lost and needing to catch up, it's a perfect one. And it is oddly placed. Like, clip shows can annoy you when you're watching through a series, but I don't necessarily mind them as much in retrospect after watching Revice, because there was a clip show within 2 or 3 episodes of where I was that I rewatched when I picked it back up, and it was actually immensely helpful in jogging my memory and not making me feel like I needed to rewatch the series. But this feels just weirdly placed, because I think the Revice clip show was in the 30s, and it's like, at this point, would you, like, need the recap? Would you be stopping watching the series at episode 40 and need a recap? I don't know, but regardless, it's very thorough. So for whatever reason you're watching through this series later and you stopped later on around the 40s, this will catch you up pretty well. And I thought there were some clever devices for it, and it kind of reminded me of the Saban Brands era clip shows, where there was at least a decent enough amount of regular scenes in between, like it facilitating something, rather than it just being like, oh, we're all sitting in a room reminiscing about this or whatever. So that was kind of clever or whatever. There even had like a weird segment where the dead characters catch you up on their death and they're in some sort of weird heaven dimension or whatever. The weirdest part, though, was at the very end, because after the sort of part where they're like, oh, these are the dead people and how they died, you have Longo being like, oh, I will get my revenge. At last we'll reveal ourselves to the Granite. At last we will have revenge. And then it does this transition to the movie tie-in, and it's weird because you have the twins and Glotto alive, and you have this weird random character working for Sachika, and then somebody reporting to is clearly the movie villain writer. I'm going to be honest, I haven't kept up with the movie news, so I'm not that familiar with everything. I'll try to look it up after this, but it was just weird. So is this movie in one of those alternate universes? Because back in my day, the Rider movies were always an AU story, like a different take because they had freedom with the world. But nowadays, for the most part, we usually have it within continuity, unless it's like I think the Gaim movie. So I don't know. It was just very weird. Like, I'm like, okay, this is a clip show, and then we have this weird AU tie-in, and then I think that preview looked like it had nothing to do with it. So yeah, another mixed bag episode in the middle of Gav's last stretch here. Kind of disappointing, but hopefully we pick up from here. And it's weird to have that tie-in be this weird, jarring lead-in, rather than what we usually get, which is having a character show up from the movie that we haven't seen yet. But anyways, guys, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Dawson Rider, signing out. Post-credit scene. I did look it up, and it appears based on the synopsis, unless the synopsis I quickly Googled was wrong, that you're going to have the characters pulled into an alternate world, so that does kind of explain it. It is still kind of jarring, though, to have a clip show all about what's already happened, and especially highlighting, like, these characters are dead, and then flash, boom, here's a weird alternate world. I always wonder about the perspective of the Japanese fans there, young or old, because do they always see the movies? Are they so diehard? Or do they sometimes skip it and feel lost, kind of like when people, feel like skipping an MCU show or something? Because, like, for us, it doesn't matter whether you're diehard or not and you want to watch the movie. Die Hard's still just a great Christmas movie. No, but it doesn't matter whether you're diehard or not. Like, we can't see the movie yet, at least in subbed form, unless you fly to Japan or whatever. So we're always out of sync whether we want to watch the movie or not. And I always wonder about the experience of the Japanese fans, like how many of them are hardcore and see the movie, or are there fans that are confused by this weird, jarring ending like I was, despite knowing sometimes the movie stuff comes in. Anyway, Dawson Rider signing out, 2.0, The Streets.